Welcome to the ACE Expert Insight series. This is the 7th episode of the series, and I'm delighted to have in my presence Reid, Managing Director of Hyder UK. Have I got it right?
That's right.
Graham, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. You haven't got that far to travel, was it, to get here?
Not too far,
not too far.
5-minute walk down the road.
Excellent. Well, I'm pleased that you're able to join us. As probably explained to you what we're trying to do, this is a message to the young one. I'm going to start off by saying, why did you go into this profession of ours? Tell me, what's your story?
Very simple, following my father's footsteps. My father was an apprentice electrician on the Clyde shipyards in Glasgow. Then he gravitated into project controls and planning and major construction projects in the UK and also in the Middle East. And he said to me, this is a great profession, son. Go to university, get yourself a degree, and the world is your oyster. So I did civil engineering, and it's been an inspiring career so far.
Good. So, and you've been in the industry for how many years? If I may ask the question without giving anything over.
Without giving anything away. 30 years.
30 years.
30 years
well,
this
so
year.
you've seen a number of up and down in the industry.
Yes.
And from where we stand at the moment, you manage, if I can get that right, notwithstanding all the headlines, you manage the whole of Hyder UK business.
That's correct.
Tell me about it. What is Hyder UK and what's Hyder Group? What is your USP and how has the company grown?
Well, Hyder UK is approximately 1,000 people, and we operate in 4 principal sectors, which is highways, rail, utilities, and energy and environment. And our modus operandi is really key client management, staying close to our clients, and that served us very well through the lean times since the economic crisis, and certainly bearing fruit now that the economy has picked up dramatically, and we see all sectors growing quite dramatically in the UK. In Hyder globally, we operate in 5 regions around the world, from Australia, China, Middle East, and Germany and the UK. And with any broad-based engineering consultancy business, some regions are up and some regions are down.
Well, you balance in the business,
Overall, we have a very strong business with an incredibly strong order book.
I mean, you talk about the sector that you focus on, but I know for sure, from my knowledge of Hyder and what my research tells me, you've built some fantastic iconic structure around the world.
We have some that...
Talk to me about it. You should be proud about it.
Absolutely, I was just looking on the wall there to see if I could see any. But
well, I was close to one in Sydney. I think that's a history one, isn't
Absolutely.
it?
I mean,
the harbour?
The Harbour Bridge, Sydney Harbour Bridge. Is
and then you got the tallest building in, what's it?
Burj Khalifa.
That's a fantastic, just a tiny small building, isn't it? Is it really tiny?
Well, it's the tallest at the moment.
It's still the tallest.
Long may that continue. And we've done iconic structures such as Tower Bridge in London, but less glamorous projects such as the M25 widening. We've been the highways agency's support on that, and we're currently working on London Bridge Station, which I think is going to be a very iconic structure.
So the company as a whole, not only does it have the geographical diversity, you really have depth of expertise in different areas, tall building, bridges and infrastructure. And
in the various regions in which we operate, we've been operating in, for example, China for well over 100 years.
Wow.
Middle East, 50 plus years.
So from that point of view, your USP as a company is not just the diversity of the landscape that you have, but depth of expertise and area of...
our people make our company, and our people with their incredible expertise. And we are principally an engineering design consultancy, but we also have scientists, we also have physicists, and we also have environmentalists and ecologists. So we're quite a broad-based business, and we're looking to augment that with sort of niche acquisitions as we've done over the last 2 or 3 years.
You talked earlier on about countries of operation, and some are up, some are down. How do you see the UK market right now? Is it up or down, or is it in the right direction? And what are the pinch points?
I think it's incredibly buoyant at the moment. The sectors that we operate in, we don't operate in them just purely by chance. It's where we think our clients are going to be spending money. So we see typically transportation, which for us, as I said, is highways and rail. We see that picking up dramatically with the highways agency going to the government company.
So this new GoCo company should move into it.
I think the highways agency spend, their aspirations from a spend perspective is quite phenomenal. They're going to have to double and treble their output. And
which means they rely on you as well as the supply chain to be able to deliver that.
Absolutely. So we see significant growth there. The rail sector with their electrification program and the major enhancements and enhancement projects, we see growth there as well.
So the future is bright. I wouldn't say the future is orange, but the future is bright.
The future is very bright.
So if we're going to do that, what do you see are the challenges? I mean, somebody said to me the other day that the idea of contracted consultant coming up is new fashion. Does he have any future? I mean, the idea of consultant, cost consultant, engineering, where is market going? What are the challenges?
For me, having spent 24 years in contracting and 6 years in consulting, I can see there are very different drivers and very different cultures of organisations. I think a vertically integrated team on a project with a contractor and a consultant works incredibly well. Whether or not they work well as being part of the same organisation, I'm not so sure, and I'd leave others to sort of judge that. But for me, engineering is quite specific. Now, you mentioned engineering, cost consultancy, project management. I think because they are
professional services,
I think they sit much better.
Okay, that's it. That's more doable, more comfortable because their business model is very, very similar.
Very, very similar.
Right. Now, looking through into your strategy, of course, companies will say, "Well, I'm purely organic." And some will say that I'm acquisitive. I mean, Hyder, I know for sure, I've been acquiring companies, and I once said to somebody that I've been in a company who had a clear vision to say, well, I want to be part of a growing company, and I can acquire or be acquired. So what is the position?
Well, Hyder's strategy is clear in that we've been looking to bolt on niche acquisitions, and in the UK, typically over the last 3 years, there are 3 acquisitions that we brought into the company, where we might be buying a company of typically 50 to 100 people, and they bring expertise and client relationships that we don't have. So it's taking us into areas where we want to grow, and we can leverage Hyder's other expertise into those clients with those relationships. So that's really been our strategy in the UK, and similarly in Australia, where we've over the last 2-3 years we've bought about 3 companies.
You've grown in Australia significantly, on the back of the mining sector.
Yes, it's been a very, very strong business. Some challenges there at the moment with the government and
well, I understand they're coming out of it now.
I think they are, because again they've had all these projects that have stalled, and now they've got to be designed and built. So I think the future for Hyder in Australia and the Australian economy is very, very good.
So what you're saying to me, if I heard you correctly, is the strategy of acquisition or organic growth is both blend are being
absolutely. Yeah.
If I pick you up specific on the issue about the acquisition side, there's a view now that we've just had about this major joining up of URS and sort of ACON. Do you think there's one massive size fit all, or is there room for across small, medium, and very, very large?
I think there's a role for various different sizes.
And for the young ones who want to come to the sector, does it really matter to them? What would be your advice to them?
I think you'll find different cultures and different types of organisations, and I think that's the most important thing I would look for as a young grad coming into the industry. A company where I can get the development that I want, the experience and exposure that I want, maybe to different regions, different projects. So with a larger company, inevitably you're going to be able to travel around the world more because they'll be based in so many different places. With a smaller company, you might get a greater focus from the principals and hence maybe a slightly more focused career development, but you might not have the international opportunities. So I don't think there's one size fits all. I think it depends on your outlook in life. Some of our grads come out of university and they're home birds. They want to work near where they've grown up, etc. Some want to travel the world.
So when you know exactly with the news breaking today, of all this big issue, as it happens, whatever the outcome of the conversation is going to be between the sort of Hyder and Arcadis, is fit very well with the strategy of both organisations.
I think so, and I think this news today is going to be incredibly good news for Hyder as a company and Hyder's employees and for the wider Arcadis group.
So if there's a message going out, to the employees on both sides, this is, we are moving in the right direction.
Absolutely. This is great news for everyone.
Good. So in terms of, what AC's been doing and the rest of the industry, should we be doing more with government, or you think we've done enough, we should keep quiet? What's your take?
I think you do a great job.
Okay.
I think you could always do more, and therefore I think we need to just keep relaying the same messages from industry that let's get these plans fixed and then we can invest. And as I said, that infrastructure will lead to economic growth in other parts of the country, which is obviously something we want to support.
Good. Graham, I could spend hours asking the same question, and I'm sure you have time to give me a lot. What I started with, what interested me was, you did actually talk about your father. You said your father seems to be the inspiration
That's
for
right,
you.
yes.
And said if you are in the business of engineering, you never go wasted because people always need you.
Absolutely.
In a nutshell. And you've done that through your education to be in the industry for 25, 30 years. If I get it right, 24 years with contractor, 6 years in consulting. That's a good blend. Your comment about the diversity of your business, saying Hyder is a very strong, very focused organization, has a clear strategy, both organic and acquisition, M&A. Both seems to be working. Your USP, from what I gather from you, is not just about having the diversity of what you do, but is being really good and strong in sectors where it's giving very consistent driving the business. You showcase some of your project that is over 100 years. I talk about the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and just a little project as well in the sort of Abu Dhabi, Dubai. They're out there, and they're good landmark project for you. But I was very pleased when you were talking about the issue to do with the M&A. This is a combination of things that need to go forward. And you talk about TAC, which is the Technician Apprenticeship Consortium,
yes,
which you are very much into it, and you play a very key role. That is encouraging. What I then get from you is that the political landscape is changing, but we need to continue to engage what we do. You emphasize the need for us to actually work with John Amage, if I get that right. So we have a consistent platform. Graham, I'm not quite sure what else to say than to say a big thank you. I think you've done a great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My final thoughts: collaboration and diversity are incredibly important to me and to our business. Collaboration, because ultimately it ends up with delivering a better product to our clients and a more engaged workforce throughout the course of the project. Diversity, because we want to bring balanced teams. We want teams in Hyder that match the demographic of our country. So we've had initiatives working with local schools to try and engage and encourage more girls to come into engineering as a profession. After all, engineering is a fantastic career to have.